Alright, I want to talk about several things. First of all, here in California, the smoke is gone, the fires are out, and we've had almost 3 inches of rain. In fact, it's raining at this time, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. So what I wanted to show you was something that's happening in the country of Canada, just north of the U.S. Let's go to the board and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So the subject here is how Canada is moving their oil outside of the country for processing. So Canada, because of their lack of infrastructure on pipelines and other infrastructure, they've decided to ship most of the oil by rail, shipments by rail car, at a record high of nearly 20,000 cars. Here's a map of the rail network that Canada is using now. As you can see, Canada is able to ship a lot of their oil right down into the U.S. from all corners of Canada. You notice the bottleneck is right here in the U.S. That means that all those oil trains are pretty much going to the U.S. or the port on the east coast of Canada. Here's a graph showing the number of rail cars, the year, and how it's going up. There is a reason this is so bad and why we do need to pay attention to this kind of thing. It is very bad. Not only that, but several people have died from oil trains that explode. The reason this concerns me is we're putting the dirtiest oil you can find on Earth into the mix of oil, which means that the greenhouse gases around the world are now at an all-time high. November 21st, 2018, the CO2 readings were 408.42. Let me say it again, 408.42. This early? On November 17th, 2017, CO2 was 405.12. And we thought that was so high back then. These emissions are now up by 41% since 1990. So other greenhouse gases such as CO2, methane, and nitrous oxide are all going up. But there's another gas that's going up that should be going down. And unfortunately, that's CFC-11. You know, the chemical that ruins the ozone layer over the poles of the world. Well, now there is some secret place, probably in China, that is now manufacturing and selling these chemicals all over the world. So we're now seeing these horrible CFCs coming back in use. And of course, the ozone layer starting to fade out again. There wasn't much there to begin with. But unfortunately, methane is one of the highest and fastest climbing greenhouse gases, have 1,859 parts per billion. That is a 257% increase in levels since pre-industrial years. Nitrous oxide, 122% up from pre-industrial levels. What is the perfect CO2 level, since that's the most important greenhouse gas at this moment, that methane? The perfect CO2 count that would keep everything pretty much as it was back in the 60s, 70s is 350 parts per million. Again, we're up to 408.42 parts per million at this time, and rising at a faster rate. That's why these shipments of horrible tar sands oil, heavy crude oil, the worst kind of oil you could get, are now continuing to rise and be put into the system. Some of this is even turned into gasoline that maybe you are putting into your vehicle, helping to pollute the world in the fastest way it can by using heavy crude, heavy sulfurized mineral tar sands. These are awful oils and should be avoided, but humans aren't going to avoid them. We're just headed to that wall ever and ever faster.